Now back to the #1 truth fighter in Boston, the Warren Ballentine Show, only on NewsTalk, 1090 AM, WILD Boston, where information is power.
Here. The champ is 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 here.
All right, Truth Fighters, welcome to the third and final hour of the Warren Ballentine Show. 877-373-9766. Number to dial, 877-373-9766. Number to dial. As we remember Dr. Martin Luther King, we celebrate his day. Let's go out to the phone lines. Let's start off with Cynthia in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 93.5 FM, line 5. Hey, Cynthia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, because it's afternoon now. But I just want to say that it's very important that we, as Black Americans, that we remember Dr. King. And not only that we remember him, but that we instill it in our children.
Yes.
It's very important that we as parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, we must instill in them the legacy of Dr. King. Mm-hmm. And like you said, not his I Have a Dream speech. To me, that's the least important of his speeches. It's probably the most popular, but it's the least important. Mm-hmm. We need to instill in them the quality of the man himself. It also helps us to teach our children that people are human and that they have feelings. And then we, as Black Americans, we're our own worst enemy. We need to come together as a race and support each other.
Yep.
We need to teach our children to support their fellow man, their fellow brother, their fellow sister. These are things that we as parents, we need to do. We need to instill it in them at a young age. It's not cute for them to stand up and shake to the music, but what is cute is for them to get education.
Yep.
And that's one thing that Dr. King was very important for. No, you didn't, as he said in his speech, you didn't have to know the theory of evolution, relativity, but you did need to have some kind of basic education in order to achieve and get things in this world. And this is what we need to instill in our children.
You know, I totally agree with you, and I thank you for your call. I love you guys in Chattanooga. I mean, I couldn't have said that better myself. I mean, it comes a point in time where it is incumbent on us to make sure the next generation has really the nurturing that it needs to carry the legacy. If we, you know, it's a saying that they have out here for people who are Masons. They say, if you want to be a Mason, to be one, ask one. You know, to reach one, teach one. And we need to reach one by teaching them the history of who we are as a people. Now, some are going to be harsh. Some are going to be good. But it's incumbent on us to teach it because my grandmother had a saying, we're always only one generation removed. If you are a wealth of knowledge of the time in your era in life and you die and you never share that knowledge with somebody, that next generation will never know what you knew. So once you're gone, that history is forever gone. So we must always take the time to really just sit down and talk with our children and each other about learning what's really going on with our past and where we're going in the future. See, sometimes we forget that literally they didn't want us to learn how to read or write. And this is why, if you see what I've been focusing on, what have I been focusing on? Paul Mooney said something very important. You can't bury the money with you, right? They bury people, not money. Why do you think I'm telling you to get out of debt? What else did he say? We're all going to die. Who else told you that? Who's been telling you to get life insurance policies to try to create some kind of generational wealth? Don't tell me you can't afford a life insurance policy. If you got cable, if you got cell phone, you can afford a life insurance policy, a term life insurance policy. This is why I'm telling you to open up the bank accounts. This is why I'm telling you to target your money. This is why I'm starting the foundation, because I understand one thing. In order for us to really make a change, we got to have love, we got to have trust, we got to have education, and we got to have economic power. 877-373-9766. These are the same things that Dr. King wanted, that Malcolm wanted, Honorable Elijah Muhammad wanted. This is nothing new. Marcus Garvey, this is nothing new. Talking to you, Truth Fighters, right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
NewsTalk 1090 AM, WILD, Boston, where information is power.
We want it so proud. The hand is so proud. Give it to me.
Warren Ballentine, coast to coast and around the world.
We want it so proud. The hand is so proud. Give it to me.
Barack Obama is with us on the Warren Ballentine Show.
I appreciate you, Warren. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You're now President Obama. The first thing you do you deal with the economy and the war?
Well, first of all, there's no doubt that the economy is going to be at the top of the list.
877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Now it's time to light up the phones and burn up the airwaves. Here's Warren.
All right, Truth Fighters, 877-373-9766. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Let's start with Sharon in Baltimore, WOLB, line 7. Hey, Sharon.
I wanted to share a poem with you that was inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King that I wrote.
Go ahead.
The name of it is We Can Make a Difference. It's walk together, children. We can make a difference if we lend a helping hand by being nice and kind to others and doing the best we can. We need to reach out and help one another like sisters and brothers. We should overcome because together we can make a difference. Let's clean up our world and make it safe for you and me. We can make a difference in our future and history just by pitching in and setting a good example for others to see. We are the children of the future. Let's help make a difference by being a good person. We are the children of the future. It's our chance to take a stand, make a choice now if we want our world to be clean and a safe place to be. We can make a difference by showing love, pride, honor, and respect for ourselves and our world. Let's make a big difference.
All right, I love it. Thank you for the poem. God bless you. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go to line 8. John in Chicago, Real Radio, 106.3 radio. Line 8. What's up, John?
What's up, Warren? Hey,
Okay.
Warren, I don't have no problem with Dr. King, but my grandfather, 86, 87 years old, and he really dislikes Martin Luther King. He said Martin Luther King was one of the reasons black people started spending their money with white people instead of investing in ourselves. And so he puts a very different spin on it. And my grandmother, sometimes he gets so mad, my grandmother got to start talking because I guess him and one of his friends was starting some type of business and they wound up losing their business. And they said they never talk about how many black businesses went out of business because of Martin Luther King. Do you think there's any credit behind that?
I think that integration was a double-edged sword. I think it was a good thing for many reasons, but a bad thing for many reasons as well. And the bad of it was the fact that we had our own businesses, we had our own communities, and these communities basically, black folks started thinking that the ice was cold on the other side of the town, and they started spending their money over there. Now, so the argument your grandfather making does have some merit, but I can't blame just Dr. King on that. You got to blame the people too, because the people chose to spend their money. Dr. King's position was he wanted equality for everybody and the opportunity for everybody. It wasn't that he was telling black folks to go spend their money with white America. Black folks chose to do that, and we've chosen to do that for the last 40 years. I mean, and it's sad to say this, but even today, you can take two. I give you a perfect example. When I was actively practicing law, my main special was criminal defense. And, I would dabble in other stuff, but I wasn't an expert in this stuff. But criminal defense, I was an expert in. I would have people come and sit in front of me and say, Warren, please save my child. My child is innocent. And they then went to a white attorney or a Jewish attorney and gave them $30,000. They come in my office and tell me, Warren, I only got $1,000 left to my name. Will you save my child? Now, you done went and gave this white man $30,000. And he, once you ran out of money, He let your child go. But you want me to come save your child for $1,000 because you thought the white lawyer knew more than what I knew and was better than what I was because he was white. Not because he had been in front of more jury trials than me, not because he knew more than I knew, but because he was white. And that's even going on today. And I can't blame Dr. King for that. I got to blame society because we've been brainwashed to believe that white is better. I mean, let's just look at America as a whole, even right now, right? What do? They show us, when they want to show something sexy, they show a skinny white girl with big old boobs, blonde hair, blue eyes, right? But the reality of it is, many white folks are trying to be black without being black. They're getting injections in their lips. They're getting booty bumps. They're getting hair extensions. They tan. They're doing all this to be everything but classified as black. They want the features, but they don't want to be black. And that's because we've been trained to believe that, and it's in the wording. Look, they made white pure and black bad. Everything. Everything is in the wording. We've been trained to believe it. So your grandfather has some merit in the sense that it opened up the door. But you got to blame the folks because we the ones who chose to run through the door and go spend our money elsewhere and go spend our money with other people and go and think everybody else is better than us.
That's just like when somebody open a business in the hood. It seems like if they make one mistake, black people like, all right, that's what happened when you shot with black people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's my whole point right there. You get it. And that's what you tell your grandfather. Say, look, it wasn't that Dr. King caused you to go out of business. It was the mentality of the Negroes in your community that caused you to go out of business because those Negroes thought the ice cubes was a little bit colder in the shop down the street, not realizing that the ice cubes were made in the same freezer.
Right.
That's the thing.
Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, brother, thank you for the call. I mean, see, I'm a young cat, but I understand. I do understand. I wasn't even thought of when all this stuff was going on. But I do understand history, and I got enough sense to go speak with older people to understand what the mentality of the mind frame was at that time. Black folks were so happy that they could be equal that they just, I'm going to, I'm going to tell you something. It's a documentary. If you've never seen this documentary, it's a documentary on the Greensboro 4 and the first college sit-in, all right, during the civil rights movement. And one of the original 4 talked about how they just assumed the food was so much better at the white establishments, and that's why they couldn't sit at the counter and eat it. And he said once he was able to sit at the counter, what he realized was that pie was nasty as hell, and that he didn't even want to eat there no more. But that is the mentality. Let me be 1,000 right now. I can remember being in college and listening to some of my friends talking about how they wanted to get with a white girl. Now, my thing is this. Love is love. If you fall in love with somebody and they're a different race, I ain't got a problem with that. If you love them, that's who God got for you, more power to you. But the whole reason they wanted to get with a white girl was because in their mind, they really believed white women just were better than black women. Oh, white women don't complain like black girls do. White women, they freakier in bed than black girls are. White women wash your clothes and take care of you and everything else. Black women won't do that. And I just laughed. I literally would laugh at them because, see, I had a mama who would sit down and talk to me and tell me what the real deal was. And I said, look, let me explain something to you guys out here. All women complain. It ain't got nothing to do with the color of her skin. And for every hot girl out here, it's some guy that's dating her that's sick and tired of her. Just like for every hot guy out here, it's some girl who's sick and tired of him. I said, that's just personality. It ain't got nothing to do with color. And if you think white women are freakier than black women, you ain't met the right black woman. Because it's some out here that's just like them. And maybe even a little bit more. And lastly, if they doing all this stuff, they doing this to get you. And once they got you, they gonna show you that they just like everybody else, man. But it's just the mentality of being thought that way. And see, my whole thing about black guys who don't want to date black women, I always say, that's crazy to me. One of your parents had to be black. If you biracial, one of them had to be black. If you straight black, then your mama was black. And if your mama was black, you mean you ain't good? A woman who looks like your mama ain't good enough for you? And then the one thing that I really don't understand about black men who don't want to date black women, we got every color you could think about in the black race. You can get you a black girl who look white. You ain't gotta go. I mean, it's just, I don't know. But like I said, love is love. You find somebody, you love them, We got black women who look Asian, who look Hispanic. I mean, who look like they straight from the motherland. I mean, whatever flavor you want, we got. We Baskin Robbins. Everybody else just got that plain old flavor. 877-373-9766. Talking to you, Truth Fighters, right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
Stay tuned for the Warren Ballentine Show. Call 1-877-373-9766. 1-877-373-9766. Call the #1 Truth Fighter and stay with News Talk 1090 AM WILD Boston.
Hi, we are the Higginbotham, founder of the Osiris Family Institute.
We provide in-home therapy and therapeutic mentoring to families involved with Mass Health.
If you and your children are having a difficult time,
you may be eligible through your Mass Health insurance provider to have in-home therapy or a therapeutic mentor placed in your home.
To find out if your family is eligible,
contact the Osiris Family Institute at 617-442-2002.
Or visit our website at osirisinstitute.com.
And listen to Families Do Matter.
Sunday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Only on News Talk 1090 WILD AM, where information is power.
Made us dream to dream. Be drunk and now I know she thinks I'm cool. She gave me a wink, I wink back, and then I think that we gon' have fun at my spot tonight.
Silk mixes from Steve So Curly every Tuesday and Thursday on the DJ MS.
Boston. Thank you for still tuning in to the Tom Jordan Morning Show. Weekday mornings. Only on News Talk 1090 AM WILD.